Red light drowns the signal's trailer, turning faces into masks. Racks hum. Antennas groan in the storm. Monitors spill rivers of blue and green. She stands in the doorway with a metal carafe and a stack of paper cups. "About time," the senior officer snaps. Major Rourke doesn't look up from his screen. "Put it there, Private, and don't touch anything." She nods once. Ordinary face. Calm eyes. Scars along her left temple like pale thread under the light. No rank patch beyond the basics. No ribbons to announce anything. "Coffee, girl," someone mutters from the Spectrum desk. A chuckle ripples. "Quota slot." Her name is Aya Tran, 23. She answers with silence. Thunder crawls over the desert. The blackout exercise, Hush 17, runs live across the brigade. Radio's cold. Lights out. Every unit blind by design. The only eyes are here, inside this aluminum box, listening to the world's heartbeat. 30 minutes to the assault phase, Rourke says. If my feed isn't clean, heads roll. He finally looks at her. His gaze catalogues the faded sleeves, the cheap hair tie, the scar. "Private, clear the cups by the patch panel. You're blocking my line." "Yes, sir." She moves past the racks. She knows the panel by feel. BNC couplers, fiber runs, a ground strap with flaking paint. She could rewire it in the dark. She doesn't. She sets paper cups like chess pieces and retreats to the shadows near the door. "Someone tell the translator to wait outside," Rourke adds, pointing his chin at Aya. "This is not a language lab." Laughter. Mute looks lost. Aya says nothing. She watches the main waterfall display. Frequencies scroll like rain. Most are dead, swallowed by the exercise's own silence. But a faint ridge shivers near 7 megahertz, thin as a hair in fog. The storm hits, rattling the roof. The trailer smells like dust and warm metal. Captain Vale, the operations lead, taps his watch. "We need clean lines before 06. Drone relay, blue net, fire mission feed. Every noise source dies now." "On it," Rourke says. He stabs at a keyboard. "Private, get the general's coffee hot." General Syra Kadir, Joint Signals Command, stands at the back, half-shadowed. She doesn't drink. She watches. Her presence compresses the trailer into quieter distance. No one mentions her. They feel her like gravity. Aya pours anyway, steam rising. Her hands don't shake. Rourke's voice sharpens. "Where is that hiss coming from? Kill channel 3. No, 5. Mute the lower band. I want the board flat." The tech at Spectrum fumbles. "Still got a floor rise at 6.9. "Throw a notch," and someone shut the door. "Draft's killing my patience." Aya steps closer to push the door tighter. The ridge at 7 megahertz trembles again. Not wind, not power line. Too clean in its disorder. Drifting at a lazy slope, upward, constant. The trailer pops as the generator shifts load. Lights blink. Wife of the generator crewman coughs outside. No, Aya thinks, not here. She pulls breath in and lets it go. Quiet. Counting heartbeats against the crawl of the ridge. "Private," Rourke says, "find a cloth. Wipe the condensation off the patch cover. You're turning my node into a sauna." She finds a lint-free wipe, dabs the panel, and steps away. She sees the patch map. ST1 to RXB, RXB to IF2, IF2 to decode. Someone looped a spare onto ground and left it there. No disaster, just lazy. Vale leans over the console. "We're losing the recon drone handshake every 9 minutes. 9? Rourke grins without humor. "Try operator error." Vale's face tightens. "Then fix my operators." Aya watches the corner monitor, the one no one looks at because it always shows noise, the low-frequency muck. In the muck, a rhythm taps. Not audible. Visual. A soft brightening, then fade, again, again. 45 seconds between pulses. 45 ticks. Storm thunder swells and covers it, then clears, and the pulse keeps perfect time. Someone coughs. Someone swears. A paper cup crumples. "Private," says a voice near her elbow. "Lieutenant Mara," calms. "There's a tray under the bench. Sugar packets. Bring it." Aya kneels, finds the tray, and rises. Her scar itches under the heat. She keeps her gaze off the screens. She keeps her breath slow. The ridge inclines another hair's width. "Look at me," Rourke says suddenly. Aya meets his eyes. "You're here to learn menial compliance," he says, "not to gawk at classified systems. You aren't rated. You aren't trusted. You are background. That clear?" "Clear, sir." "Good, because we're being graded today, and I won't have the scoreboard say I failed because the coffee girl knocked something loose." She nods again, places the tray, steps back into the dim near the door. The storm rolls. Outside, vehicles idle under ponchos. Inside, sweat collects near collarbones. The screens push on. General Kadir moves closer to Rourke's station. "Your noise floor is unstable," she says, voice level. "We're tightening every path," Rourke replies. "Atmospherics are trash, ma'am. Atmospherics don't drift in a straight line." Rourke forces a laugh. "Noted." Aya hears it. The drift again. 72 hertz up since she first saw it. Not random. She catalogues the slope. Rough mental math. It points to something with a cheap oscillator. Battery warming. Field transmitter cheap, not military-grade stable. But deliberate. 20 minutes, Vale says. "Either we see the blue net clean, or we abort fires." "We won't abort," Rourke snaps. "We'll jam our own noise before that." The tech at Spectrum wipes his palms on his pants. "Major, you want me to gate the low-frequency crap?" "Gate everything that isn't blue," Rourke says. "If it breathes, choke it." Aya feels the trailer tip slightly with wind. In her periphery, a calendar curls on a pin. July crossed in thick pencil. Below it, a handwritten note. "Hush 17. No leaks." She swallows. The ridge pulls up, steady as a tide. A young corporal peeks in, dripping rain. "Sir, the forward platoon lost their GPS overlays again." "Forward them a map and crayons," Rourke says. "Now shut that door." The corporal disappears. The door thunks. Aya watches the pulse in the muck tap exactly as before. 45 seconds. 45 seconds. 45 seconds. She counts 3 cycles and looks away. Then back. Still there. "Private!" Rourke calls, almost amused now. "You still here? Thought you'd evaporate." "Yes, sir." "Then be useful. Stand over there and absorb the humidity." Snickers again. Paper rustles. Keys clack. The trailer hisses with moving air and wounded pride. General Kadir turns her head slightly, studying Aya for the first time. Not long, just a glance like a needle finding a pulse. "Major," Kadir says, turning back to the screens. "The drone link cycles at 9 minutes because something knocks it off frequency. Your own correction hunts and fails. What changed 9 minutes ago?" Rourke grinds his jaw. "Nothing significant. We blanked the band. The ridge reaches 7.042 megahertz. Still climbing." Aya keeps her face blank. She counts. The pulse taps. 45, 45, 45. Vale leans in. "We're at T-10. Make a call." Rourke raises his chin. "We push. And we pray the graders don't see weather." Aya looks down at her hands. Sugar dust clings to a knuckle. She brushes it off on her sleeve. "Private," Mara murmurs near her, softer now. "You okay?" "I'm fine." "First blackout's the worst." Mara forces a quick smile. "You'll get used to the chaos." Aya nods. She will not say what sits on her tongue. Not yet. Not until she must. She files the slope, the pulse, the interval, the color of that ridge when the storm crackles. She files the way the drone handshake vanishes within 5 seconds after each pulse. She files the way the notch filter lags by 1 beat and then misses. General Kadir speaks, crisp. "Major, if you push through dirty, you'll teach the graders you can't tell wind from a whisper." Rourke's mouth tightens. "With respect, ma'am, I know a whisper when I hear one." Aya breathes in. She lets it out. She counts another 45 seconds. The ridge brightens. The pulse taps. Somewhere beyond the berm, in the dark, someone waits for the net to open and the brigade to speak. Aya sets the empty carafe on the floor. She straightens. She steps 1 pace into light. "Major," she says, voice low, steady. "Permission to—" He turns, eyebrows arching, already smiling like a man about to enjoy a small cruelty. I said coffee duty, he says. Don't embarrass yourself. She closes her mouth. The ridge climbs. The storm growls. The clock crawls towards zero. She waits. The storm pounds harder, each raindrop drumming on the trailer roof like a warning. Inside, cables hum and the air feels thick enough to choke on. The red light above the door flickers, painting every face in blood. Major Rourke's voice cuts through the noise. Private Tran, stay where I can see you. Aya nods, hands clasped behind her back, eyes fixed on the floor. She can feel their irritation, the undercurrent of mockery that never ends. Every movement she makes draws a comment, a smirk. But she doesn't flinch. The storm outside is louder than their laughter. On the main monitor, the signal spectrum ripples. A single ridge crawls upward, slow, deliberate, alive. The technician at the console frowns. Major, we just lost the recon drone feed again. That's the third drop, Captain Vale mutters, checking his watch. 9-minute interval, exact. Operator error, Rourke snaps. Reset the handshake. The young tech hesitates. Sir, it's syncing fine, then dying again, like something's mirroring our pulse. Rourke glares. Mirrors don't jam signals. Do your job. Thunder shakes the trailer. Aya's eyes flick to the lower display, the one no one bothers watching. The ridge glows faintly, rising through the static in perfect rhythm. 45 seconds between pulses. Precise. Too precise. She bites the inside of her cheek. Her orders say, stay silent, stay small. But instinct whispers louder. Patterns mean intent. Vale slams his headset onto the table. We're blind again. At this rate, artillery can't fire a single round. Rourke turns toward Aya. Coffee girl, you touch anything? No, sir. He smirks. Then maybe breathe quieter. The equipment's allergic to amateurs. Laughter ripples through the cramped space. Aya doesn't answer. She's counting the seconds. 45, 45, 45. The pulse never misses. Lightning flashes, bleaching the room white. When the thunder follows, she speaks without thinking. Sir, that's not interference. Rourke whirls on her. What did you say? The ridge, she says quietly. It isn't weather. It's deliberate. Heartbeat modulation on 7 megahertz. Someone's tracking our relay timing. Rourke laughs, sharp and humorless. How would you know that, Private? You refill mugs for a living. General Kadir's voice slices the air. Let her finish. Every head turns. Even the storm seems to pause. Aya steps closer to the screen, pointing with a steady finger. See that incline? It climbs exactly 72 hertz every 9 minutes. That's not random drift. It's a human oscillator heating under battery load. A field transmitter. Vale frowns. That's specific. I've seen the same slope before, she continues, in test simulations. It's the signature of our own beacon protocol, prototype E17. Rourke's jaw tightens. Impossible. That algorithm's classified. Aya meets his stare. Yes, sir. I know. How? Her voice is calm, almost too calm. Because I built it. The trailer freezes. The technicians exchange stunned glances. Vale's lips part, searching for words. Rourke's smirk falters. You expect me to believe that? You're a logistics translator. You don't even have clearance. Aya's expression doesn't change. Check my record. Project Specter. I was reassigned 6 months ago after a system breach. Specter, Vale whispers. That was the SIGINT ghost team. General Kadir folds her arms. Continue, Sergeant. The rank correction hits like a grenade. Rourke blinks. Sergeant? Kadir's tone is iron. Temporary cover under civilian status. Orders came from my office. Aya exhales once, steady. The signal out there isn't weather. It's my algorithm reversed. Someone hijacked it. They're mapping every burst we send and feeding our drones phantom coordinates. Rourke stares at the flickering display. You're saying we're already compromised? I'm saying, Aya replies, they're inside our reflection. And if you keep transmitting, they'll know exactly when we fire. The silence that follows is total. The hum of the racks sounds suddenly fragile. Thunder rolls again, closer now. On the monitor, the ridge peaks, sharp, perfect. a predator's pulse. Rourke opens his mouth, but Kadir speaks first. "Find it," she orders. Aya nods once, already moving toward the patch panel. Her fingers hover over the cables she memorized an hour ago. For the first time, no one stops her. The trailer feels smaller now. The storm outside is a low growl, but inside, every heartbeat sounds like thunder. The red light flickers again, throwing shadows across faces suddenly pale. Aya moves fast, precise, not frantic. Her calm unnerves them more than fear ever could. She kneels beside the main signal router, tracing cables with her fingertips. "This junction. Here," she murmurs. "They looped an auxiliary feed through port 9B. Rourke frowns. "That's impossible. That port's offline." "Not anymore." She pulls a small tool from her pocket. Not standard issue, but something older, personal. A stubby decrypt key shaped like a pen. She slides it into the diagnostic port. The monitor's static flares. Lines of code ripple across the screen, jittering green against black. Vale leans closer. "What the hell is that?" Aya answers without looking up. "My encryption trace. I wrote it years ago for Specter. It flags anomalies that mimic friendly signatures." General Kadir's voice is calm, almost proud. Proof number 1. The code scrolls faster, then freezes. A section of the display flashes, alias, match, E17, external source. "There," Aya says quietly. "They cloned our comms ID. Whoever's out there is ghosting us." Vale whispers, "They're inside our net." Rourke's knuckles whiten on the table. "Show me where." Aya types a string. The screen splits, one half showing their control signal, the other the phantom. Identical, except for one frame delay. "Half a millisecond," she says. "That's how they ride our echo. You'd never see it without manual audit." "Who?" Vale demands. She shakes her head. "Could be anyone running surplus E17 code, mercs, road contractors, maybe even one of ours." General Kadir steps closer. "Prove it's real." Aya exhales. "Then we bait them." She pulls a second cable, reroutes it through a manual patch. Her voice stays steady. "I'll send a false pulse, a correction signal. If they're mirroring, they'll respond within 45 seconds. Rourke snaps, "And if you're wrong?" Then we get silence. The seconds drag. The trailer hums like a trapped animal. 30 seconds. 35. The air feels heavier. 40. Thunder rattles the floor. 45. On the lower display, a bright spike flares. Vale swears softly. "They bit." Aya doesn't smile. She just says, "They're tuned to us, not the storm." The spike fades, replaced by a data burst. She decodes it by hand, her fingers flying over the keyboard. A string of coordinates appears, and next to them, a name. FOB Falcon. Rourke's eyes widen. "That's our forward base. They're triangulating our fire teams," Aya says. "If we transmit again, they'll pinpoint our artillery batteries." The room erupts. Overlapping orders, panic, disbelief. Rourke slams the console. "Kill all outbound signals." But Kadir doesn't move. Her eyes are fixed on Aya. "You just save this brigade." Aya doesn't look up. "We're not safe yet. The source is still transmitting." She isolates the beacon trace, tracking its slope. The frequency stabilizes, narrowing into a perfect spike. "There," she says. "North-northeast. 4 clicks from base." Vale checks the map overlay. "That's No Man's Ridge. We pulled recon from there last month." Aya disconnects her tool, sliding it into her pocket. "Then they took our tower." The trailer is silent again, except for the rain. General Kadir nods slowly. "Proof number 2. She turns to Rourke. "You wanted clean lines. There's your noise." Rourke's face tightens. "You're saying she's been undercover this whole time?" Aya stands, wiping her hands on her sleeve. "Not undercover. Buried." Lightning flashes, and for the first time, they all see her differently. Not the quiet girl in coffee duty, but something colder, sharper, meant for war. Outside, thunder rolls again, and this time it sounds like applause. The hum of the machines deepens, vibrating through the trailer floor. Outside, the storm fades into a heavy silence, the kind that comes before artillery or truth. General Kadir stands beside Aya now, her posture straight, her eyes bright with something no one else in the room dares to name. Belief. "Pull up the full log," Kadir orders. Aya nods and plugs in her decrypt key again. The screens flicker, and then, slowly, the feed stabilizes into a cascading column of coordinates, timestamps, and voice packets. Vale leans in. "Those are our encrypted bursts." "Not just ours," Aya says. "Listen." She taps a key. The trailer fills with static, then a faint voice, clipped, filtered, distorted, rises beneath the noise. "Battery grid echo 7. Adjust trajectory." Rourke's eyes go wide. "That's me," he whispers. "That's my voice." Aya keeps going. Another burst plays. "Division command acknowledged. Firing sequence. Mark." The same voice, cloned, time-stamped 3 hours before the actual transmission ever left this room. She glances at Kadir. Proof number 3. Kadir's jaw tightens. They recorded us, rebuilt the commands, and sent them first. That's why the drones misfired, why recon fell blind. Vale curses under his breath. They've been a step ahead the whole exercise. Rourke's face drains of color. "You're saying this entire drill's compromised?" Aya doesn't look away from the screen. "No, Major. It's live. Someone's testing us, in real time." General Kadir turns slowly, her gaze slicing through the tension. "By whose authority did you install these systems?" Rourke stammers. "Command ordered." "No," Aya interrupts quietly. "That signature's not command. It's corporate. Helix Dynamics. Private defense contractors. They built the relay tower on No Man's Ridge last quarter. I warned Specter about them before I was transferred out." Vale looks stunned. "You think they're running a shadow simulation?" Aya nods. "They're feeding false data to test their AI targeting model. If we fire tonight, they'll record how we correct, how we fail, and how many seconds it takes to recover." Kadir turns to her. "And you can stop it?" Aya exhales. "If I can reach the uplink." Rourke finds his voice again, brittle and defensive. "You're just a coder with a hero complex. This is my op. You step 1 foot outside this trailer and I'll have you—" "Enough." Kadir's tone slices the air. Every voice dies. She steps forward, eyes locked on Rourke. "Major, you were given command of this exercise to evaluate readiness, not ego. Sergeant Tran just exposed an infiltration you were blind to. That makes her the ranking expert in this room." Rourke stares, disbelief warring with humiliation. "She's—" Kadir cuts him off again. "Effective immediately. She takes operational lead for counter-signal protocol. You'll assist." The silence that follows is colder than the rain. Aya doesn't gloat. She doesn't even move. She just says, "Understood, ma'am." Then she turns back to the console, fingers flying. The room fills with the rhythm of keystrokes and beeping diagnostics. Within seconds, the monitor's chaos resolves into a single tracking grid, a red dot blinking atop the ridge outside base. "There's your leak," Aya says. "They're feeding from a repeater buried in the comms tower. I can jam it, but someone has to cut the relay physically." Kadir nods. "We'll send a team." "No time," Aya says. "They'll detect the spike and switch frequency. I can disable it if I get there myself." Vale blinks. "You're volunteering to walk into an active field?" Aya's voice is steady. "I built it. I'll kill it." Rourke shakes his head. "That's suicide." She meets his eyes, calm, quiet, unflinching. So was staying quiet. For the first time, he has no reply. General Kadir reaches for her headset. "Sergeant Tran, authorization confirmed. You have field command." Aya snaps a crisp salute. "Yes, ma'am." She pulls her rain hood over her scar and grabs a portable jammer from the rack. Lightning flickers through the open hatch. Vale watches her go, murmuring, "God help whoever's on that ridge." Kadir's voice answers softly, almost to herself. "They won't need God. They've got her." Rain needles the night as Aya steps out of the trailer. The air smells of metal and ozone. Each gust of wind feels colder than the one before, but she doesn't slow. Her boots sink into the mud with heavy thuds, the storm painting her in streaks of gray. Behind her, the command trailer glows faintly, a red heartbeat in the dark. Ahead, the ridge waits, a silhouette of broken towers and rusted antennas stabbing into the clouds. She moves like she's done this before, because she has. Her earpiece crackles. Vale's voice. Tran, visual range 300 meters. Watch for trip lasers. Copy, she says. I built them. I'll see them first. Static hisses. Then faintly, Rourke's voice slips in. He sounds different now. No swagger, only regret. Tran, I was wrong. Bring that tower down. Copy, she repeats. Lightning flashes, illuminating the ridge for a single heartbeat. Metal scaffolds twist like skeletons. At the base, a comms dish glows, too bright for a deactivated relay. She crouches, unpacks her jammer. Its blue light pulses in her hand. Aya wipes rain from her eyes and mutters, "Let's end this." She connects a cable, clips the grounding strap, and starts the override sequence. Lines of code dance across her wrist display, the same algorithm she wrote years ago, now weaponized against her. "Override ready," she whispers. Vale's voice breaks through, tense. "Signal spike inbound. They see you." Too late. From the ridge above, a drone hums to life, black, sleek, circling low. Its spotlight sweeps the rocks like an unblinking eye. Aya dives behind a generator husk as the beam cuts past. The hum vibrates through her bones. She grits her teeth, typing faster. The jammer flares. "Come on." A voice filters through her headset, cold and artificial. A male tone synthesized through static. Specter operative confirmed. Termination protocol online. She looks up at the drone's eye. "Then come try." The storm bursts open again. Sheets of rain, thunder splitting the sky. Aya sprints from cover to cover, dragging the jammer with her. Sparks leap from the cables. The drone fires, not bullets, but focused bursts of microwave pulse. The mud boils where she stood seconds before. Her breath comes fast but steady. Every motion is controlled, surgical. She slides behind the comms mast, slaps the jammer's magnetic clamp to its base, and slams her palm against the activation pad. A high-pitched tone erupts, cutting through the storm like glass. The drone freezes mid-air, convulsing, then drops, smoke hissing from its vents. Aya watches it fall. Her chest heaves once, then she flips her wrist display and types the final command. Specter, Echo, Nang. The ridge lights up. Circuits flare white-hot. The tower screams as power reverses through its veins. Then, silence. In the command trailer, every screen goes dark for a heartbeat, then stabilizes. Vale's voice crackles through. Signal gone, all frequencies clear. General Kadir exhales. She did it. Aya kneels in the mud, watching the sparks fade from the tower. The rain soaks her hair, runs across the scar on her temple. Her lips curve, not a smile, just release. Behind her, headlights cut through the storm. A Humvee grinds to a stop. Rourke jumps out first, his uniform drenched. He walks toward her slowly, every step heavy with the weight of realization. "You weren't supposed to be here," he says quietly. Aya looks up at him. Neither were they. He nods once, not as a superior, but as a soldier who's finally learned respect. General Kadir steps beside them, the storm easing into mist. She studies the smoking tower, then turns to Aya. "Report, Sergeant." Aya stands, mud dripping from her gloves. "Ghost network neutralized. Transmission source destroyed." Kadir nods. "You just saved 500 lives." Aya's eyes narrow slightly. "No, ma'am. I just made sure we were finally listening." The thunder rolls one last time. Quieter now, like applause fading into distance. She wipes her scar, looks toward the horizon, and says quietly, "Next time they listen first." 3 words follow like a verdict, crisp and final. "Mission complete, ma'am." Morning breaks over the desert in washed-out gold. The rain has stopped. The mud still glistens under the soft dawn light, and smoke curls lazily from the dead tower on the ridge. Inside the signals trailer, the chaos is gone. The screens glow clean, their steady hum almost peaceful. The soldiers move quietly, as if afraid to disturb whatever grace the night left behind. Aya steps through the doorway, hair damp, uniform streaked with dirt and rain. She looks like she's been through a war, but her eyes, clear, steady, unshaken, belonged to someone who won it. Major Rourke stands as she enters. His voice carries none of the old mockery. "Sergeant Tran," he says, and the words come slow, deliberate. "You have my respect." Aya nods once. "Thank you, sir." He hesitates, then adds quietly, "You saw what none of us did. You saved us." "I just listened," she replies. "The signal was there the whole time. Everyone was too busy talking to hear it." General Kadir turns from the command desk, arms folded. Her expression is unreadable, but her tone is warm. "You've done enough for one night, Sergeant. But command will want your report in person. And they'll want you back." Aya looks up, surprise flickering for the first time. "Back?" "Specter Division," Kadir says. "They're rebuilding the unit, and they need people who can see ghosts in the noise." For a moment, Aya says nothing. Then she smiles faintly. "I'll think about it, ma'am." Kadir nods. "You've earned that choice." Vale steps forward, grinning tiredly. "Next time you want to make us all look stupid, give us a heads up first." Aya chuckles softly. No promises. The trailer erupts in quiet laughter. Real this time, not cruel. The storm's weight lifts, leaving only the hum of clean air and the scent of cooling circuits. Outside, sunlight spills across the ridge, touching the burned-out tower until it looks almost silver again. The battlefield has turned into something gentle. Aya steps out, letting the warmth hit her face. For the first time in years, she breathes without flinching. Behind her, the general's voice carries through the open door. "End transmission. Exercise complete." Aya closes her eyes and whispers, almost to herself, "End of silence." In every battle, there's someone dismissed as background noise, until their signal changes everything. If her story moved you, share it, because the next coffee girl you overlook might be the one who saves your world.